ARK Ascended makes its return. Genesis Top 10 Community Creatures reaches vote. And Quetzal enters as your #1 TLC Dino. You're right, kids, it's Raasclark, and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. Because with Community Crunch 481, we get ARK Ascended details, the Halloween event that we all look forward to all year round. Certainly the best event of ARK all year round, and there's a few things being added to this one. I've got to say, I do love the new artwork being made, I'm guessing, by Mr. Fuego once again, with possibly the most lifelike looking models we've seen yet. Wow, when did we get these in ARK, right? I know they're being made in some external software, but still, jeez. The female model in particular looks really, really good. But, of course, we're looking at the Ascended details, what's going on. We can see a few new interesting ghost cosmetics out there on the right. And, well, you won't just have ghost cosmetics. You'll be facing ghostly encounters out in the wild, as well as many other different variants, different other creatures, unique creatures to Fear Evolved. A lot of things to see and do. What exactly, though? Well, kicking off on the 29th of October, you're going to get a bit of 2x all the way up to 5x unofficial servers, with new wild dino colours for you to tame, ranging from dark violet all the way to wyvern purple, and encounters out there alone in the wild. There's quite a list been added to the already current list, with Ghost Cat, Gigantoraptor, Ankylos, Ceratosaurus, Angler, Valwyn, Drakeling, Yeeling, Argy, Spino, Megalodon, Otter, Deinonychus, Snow Owl being added to the already existing list of Direwolf, Basilisk, Bulbdog, Mantis, and Rex, and Surface Reaper King of the Ghost variants alone, of which you'll want to kill to get your ghost skins for your existing creatures. And of the skeletal variants, you've got Brontocarno, Gigantosaurus, Jerboa, Quetzal, Raptor Rex, Stego, and Trike, of which you're going to want to kill to claim some bones to make a bunch of event creature skins and emotes, of which you'll get these bones as well from dug up gravestones, scarecrows, and pumpkins out spawning in the wild. Bay Plays Games did a great guide on this last year, going through everything you need to know about the event and what to do and what to see and what was already existing back then, including a great showcase of the ghost variants you'll wander into whilst out and about. And the skins and emotes you get to craft are quite extensive, but we'll go for it. Deep breath. Ghost Cat, Gigantoraptor, Ankylos, Ceratosaurus, Angler, Valwyn, Drakeling, Yeeling, Argentavis, Spinosaurus, Megalodon, Otter, Deinonychus, Snow Owl, Basilisk, Bulbdog, Direwolf, Mantis, Reaper, Rex, Dino Witch Hat, Scary, Dino Pumpkin Helmet, Skink, Skeletal, Giga, Quetz, Raptor, Rex, Stego, Trike, and Wyvern, with the Cleaver and Crowbar weapons still being added. And of the armor skins, you've got a Ranio Swim Top skin, Basilisk Ghost, Bulbdog Ghost, Clown Mask, Dino Witch Hat, Direwolf Ghost, Dodo Rex Mask, Dodo Wyvern Mask, Headless Costume, Hockey Mask, Jack-O-Lantern Print, Jack-O-Lantern Swim Top, Mantis Ghost, Onyx Swim Top skin, Reaper Ghost Costume, Reaper Print Skin Shirt, Reaper Swim Top skin, Skeleton Costume, Skelly Print Shirt, Strawman Costume, Snow Owl Ghost Costume, Tentacle Print Shirt Skin, Vampire Eyes Skin, Vampire Dodo Swim Top skin, Werewolf Mask skin, Witch Hat skin, Zomdodo Print Shirt skin, Zombie Wyvern Print Shirt skin, Werewolf Costume, Arrowhead Hat, and Sword Head Hat. And added to those this year is Aranio Swim Short Skin, Aranio Swim Bottom Skin, Reaper Swim Short Skin, Reaper Swim Bottom Skin, Jack-O-Lantern Swim Short Skin, Jack-O-Lantern Swim Bottom Skin, Vampire Dodo Swim Short Skin, Vampire Dodo Swim Bottom Skin, Onyx Swim Short Skin, and an Onyx Swim Bottom Skin. That was a mouthful. And then you've got Chibis with the Witching Owl joining the Anglerfish, Aranio, Spooky, Bulbdog, Vulture, Skeletal, Brontocarno, Gigantosaurus, Jerboa, Quetzal, Raptor Rex, Stego, Trike, Wyvern, and Ghost Basilisk, Direwolf, Mantis, and Rex. With a brand new Trick or Treat event emote adding to Howl, Sniff, Evil, Panic, and Scare, as well as event item, Festive Dino Candy, and Horror Species Plant X skin that will all be craftable with these bones as they did last year, at least we suspect so. But of course the main attraction with this event is the new creatures you get to tame. So of course meeting the Dodo Rex on the island that spawns every third night at midnight, with you having a limited time to kill it, will grant you any Zomdodos surviving that fight, with the almighty monstrous Dodo Wyverns spawning on Scorched Earth every third night, with zombie dodo variants spawning around it, which you will be able to claim as well if you successfully beat that too. Of course, this is the only time all year round you get to tame these zombie variants. Definitely some juggernauts to face, but I'm looking forward to it this year, especially trying to get some of my own unofficial, and we'll have until the 12th of November to take advantage of these. It does look like this event's going to be a mod running one once again, so make sure you've got the mod installed if you're planning to play this on single player or non-dedicated unofficial servers. As well as that, Club ARK is going to get a spooky makeover once again with the addition of a Fear Wave minigame, though I'm wondering whether it's the same Fear Wave minigame we got before. But there's certainly another incentive to join Club ARK, because it seems that ARK Wildcard are planning to run a scavenger hunt event starting on Wednesday as well. Club ARK will be decorated with hidden jack-o'-lanterns, 10 of them for you to find with the numbers 1 to 10, and if you can get pictures of all 10 of them and post them within their Discord, clearly showing the jack-o'-lantern's number and your character standing next to it, I guess for some proof. The very first survivors to do this will be getting themselves a copy of ARK Lost Colony Expansion Pass. Not sure if it's the very first person or just a few that are quick on the button, but definitely worth a shot, because you know the Arcedon's coming to ARK in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be a part of the Lost Colony Expansion Pass too. So the community creature vote has finally reached its first stage wave, where you're now going to be voting for your favourite creature that you want to see to be implemented into Genesis Part 1 as an actual creature you can tame yourself. And there's some very interesting submissions that have reached this top 10 vote. First up, we've got the Potion Brewing Land Octopus Paleo Octopus, a certainly sea-forming looking creature that makes its return from the Aberration creature votes, and this one being pitched to hold properties in its ink, allowing you to make special potions. With these potions boasting a bunch of different buffs, from a bug brew so insect swarms no longer attack you, a volcano brew giving you heat resistance, ocean brew increasing your swim speed, a snow brew for cold resistance, space brew to jump higher, one for draining stamina, one to cause a patch of fire when it's thrown, one to blind folk, one to freeze folk, one to create a small black hole, as well as a bunch of different coating abilities for armor durability, different variants to fire, wyvern, breath. Look, there's a lot being pitched with this one. I don't think all of that is going to really make the final cut if it certainly works its way through. But I appreciate the pitch with this one. Definitely a lot of detail got into this, with a range of different abilities. A third attack ability allowing you to apply a coat or throw a potion. A climb ability with this thing. A taunt, a primary attack, a secondary grab attack. But simply another aquatic creature to join ARK. We need to see more of these, and it's great to see because this list certainly has quite a few of them, with the next one being the mesmerizing Hunter of the Deep Abyssosaurus, a bioluminescent early Cretaceous Spectralux that asks you to tame it with fed plankton, and once again offering craftable obtainable items such as a sea flashbang to, well, I guess stun anyone, a gyroplankton to act as a light source, a makeshift scuba tank, a damage reduction when deep in the sea, a weight reduction, dissipated light deep sea power to increase its health regen by 20%, improve its damage, food drain and speed, with a head whip, a whirlpool, suck down, drag down ability, a hallucinogenic water shot, blinding people's eyes, hypnosis or turning the lights out, as well as a sonar to scan any alpha creatures or max level wild creatures in the sea, as well as being shark and Zyphactinus proof. Flippin' heck. The abilities game is certainly on form with these pitches, but I do need to stress I don't think these definitely count for anything that goes through, but it is worth noting everything that has been pitched in the past with community voted creatures has sort of one way or another transpired to the actual creature we got in the end, so you never know, a few of these actually might go through to be that winning creature. Next up, we got the Torpor Enhancing Taming Companion Irritator that boasts to be a slightly shorter but weaker Brazilian cousin of the Baryonyx, with you needing to tame it with the smell of rare flowers, allowing it to come close to you and then feed it with a fish corpse, just like otters, and then in doing so tames you an early game travelling mount, as it's being pitched here, offering it a hydration bonus like a Spino, with it buffing melee, movement speed and health regen, a tail slap to push away anything dangerous nearby you, and I like this, an acknowledgement that once you get a Bloodstalker, that's really only the creature you're going to want to be moving about on Genesis with. But the Irritator being pitched as covering itself with a mucus, being resistant to most status effects and even immune to some, with a 360-degree rotating saddle being pitched that, yes, you'll be able to shoot tranks from, a way to swallow fish whole through gulping for a regenerative boost, as well as using that to put fish in fish baskets, which might come handy for Shadow Mains in Gen Part 2 later on. Another one with a Swiss army of abilities up its sleeve, but the acknowledgement of other creatures I've got to say I am kind of interested in. Then we've got the biblically accurate angel, the Crinoid, or Crinoid, that looks like a long-lost cousin of the Summoner, but pitched as an ancient starfish that when taming will allow zero gravity flotation in, of course, the lunar biome, photon beams to shoot photosynthetic solar plasma charges, turn itself into an umbrella to protect yourself against atmospheric pressure, harsh sunlight, heavy downpours and snowfall, increasing hypothermal and hypothermal insulation, and an ambergris filter allowing this thing to generate ambergris, which of course you use to raise your magma source. Next up, the Sea Strider 2 Space Saviour Atompodentatus, or Artenpodentatus, which was seemingly only recently discovered in 2014, but in Genesis being pitched to possess a tail whip to contend with Megs, Xiphactinus and Mantas, so some directional knockback where the camera is facing. A hammerhead charge using a chunk of stamina to obviously stun folk whoever you hit with your noggin. A burst strafe dodge attack, so think like a mana in the water. I'm getting a bit of a concern about that, not really, just joking. And then once again, a range of buffs and debuffs. Good grief. Look at all these example debuffs, obviously giving it some hydrated buff. A healing AoE ability, a bit like a Daedon, but of course this one being underwater, which I've heard a few people do want. Of course, an immunity to Nidaria and Electrophorus, a passive production of saline goo that can be fed to unconscious creatures to temporarily conceal them from wild predators. I can imagine quite a few people will like that. And a very extensive taming process, placing any of its taming food in the taming slot of your hotbar to feed the thing, with its regular saddle giving you the ability to craft from as well. And then we got the Tidal Torpedo Romaliosaurus, with its main gimmick being pitched as something that can harness the acceleration power of whirlpools to build up momentum before launching themselves out at high speeds, dealing devastating powerful blows and allowing you to travel quickly. An oxygen offering saddle, obviously a bite attack, bubble wall pushing high knockback attack, ensnaring vortex pulling in attack, whirlpool drifting assisted swimming, and to tame its buckaroo with 2 divided by 10 plus 1, Romalio done. There we go. There's the pun. The Maneater Saivodus, or Saivodus, a monstrous looking shark dude with incredible jaws aligned with natural razors, instigating a feeding frenzy with its thrash attack, allowing you to grab on and latch foes, bleeding them out until the attack is finished. So think a bit like the Megalo's grab, danger, danger. A gill empowerment that allows a 10% damage increase to nearby allies, being ignored by most ocean predators, offering a chum passive ability similar to a Carcharodontosaurus, so blood stacking, and then when that blood stack hits 100, just like a Carcha, you're going to be doing some big game damage, with this one offering a 15% damage boost as well as 3x the amount of food gained from eating, so possibly a viable choice for meat running in the sea. Fish swarm mechanic to summon symbiotic flying fish that will act like a mini turret surrounding you, allowing you to self-heal. And then a baseball that once enemies are inside are going to be slowed, but any allies within this baseball will receive a heal. And then the Lunar Magnetic Scout Tullimonstrum, seeming to be pitched as something that will levitate around the lunar biome, possessing a regular low damage bite attack, a magnetic lunge that it'll use that weird crazy magnetic jaw to lunge itself forward and deal higher damage as well as poison damage, and as expected a grab come here scorpion effect with the thing where you can fire it out and pull things in, a fart gas attack, okay you sold me, allowing you to be either immune to this gas or making sticky bombs. What the hell? But using its gas abilities allows it to fly for a small amount of time, uses its magnetism to attract any dropped items. That's kind of cool there, having a vacuum sort of system to pull in anything you throw on the ground so you don't lose anything or you want to quickly organise your items. An escape plan ability to pull you to safety if you're below 20% health. Weather detection just like a Jerboa, and a H and an A sort of scan to scan survivors and creatures, I'm guessing. With finally this ambergris passive fed then into Buckaroo Tamed Creature, pitched also as a Great Metal Harvester too, which kind of makes sense looking at this thing. If it's got that weird, crazy jaw, why not, right? And then last but one, the return of the giant stick bug that almost made it through to a previous community crunch to be the winner in previous votes. It's back again with its different variants depending on which biome you're in. And in camouflaging itself to that biome will make it undetectable by spyglasses. An ability to collect hives from domesticated queen bees and carry them in its abdomen to use the bees in the hive as defense, kind of like the idea of that. Turning itself into a living canoe, because who doesn't like a canoe? Producing woody chitin and an organic version of sap, with a beeswax armor on top, which I'm going to guess gives it some sort of damage reduction, and all weird and wonderful ways to hide itself in the wilderness. And then finally, the semi-aquatic all-terrain healer giant lobster. And I mean, it's a giant lobster. I'm kind of interested to see how different to the Carcinos this could possibly be. But this one being pitched as an inspiration by the Team Fortress 2 Medic and Uber charge. So you'll be healing allies with its ability, and once it reaches max, you become absolutely immune for all damage for a short period before it rapidly decreases once again. To know if PvPers and turrets will be too happy about that. But a sniping shot that you can shoot from distance to heal allies or damage enemies, depending on what you're shooting, of course. A form of lobster meat for your appetizing taste buds. Unique appearances depending on which biome you wander into it. And a taming process to feed it before it stabs you with its sharp claw. All you've got to do, depending on which one you liked more or which one you least liked, you've got to simply just rank them, flick them between which one was your favourite, which one was your most favourite. So put that as number 1, and then put number 10 as your least favourite, and then post, submit, press that button down there, and then that'll be put forward to a sort of algorithmic round where everything will be calculated depending on what was voted for the best and what was voted for the worst, and then divide and multiply, with this round of voting ending on November the 7th and with the winner announced on the same day. So get in there, get your votes, make sure they count, because this is going to reflect on what that next creature is going to be. To be fair, there's some really creative ideas with all of these submissions. A lot of work and effort has been put into everybody who's posted these, so big credit to everybody that got involved with this. Honestly, I'd be happy with pretty much every creature on this list, and I look forward to seeing which one makes the final cut, and of course we'll check it out when it does. But one creature we're certain to be checking out in the near future that's going to be TLC'd is no longer the Gigantosaurus. That is been knocked off number 1 place, now replaced by the Quetzal, surprisingly. I'm hearing that some massive donos went through this week that certainly changed the rankings there. And hey, Quetzal TLC, I'm definitely down for. I don't think, even with the speed buff that the Quetzal got in recent weeks, months, it just isn't enough. The Quetzal still needs some love, some real decent love to it in both abilities and visuals to the thing. But even so, the Giga certainly deserving of some TLC and still in second place, so still within a chance as long as 60 grand is raised for charity, with the Megalosaurus pushing up to 3rd place, the Uranio being knocked down to 4th, the Gallimimus coming through at 5th place. You know what? I agree there, Gallimimus. Come on. It does definitely need some TLC love, knocking down the Thyla to 6th place, followed by the Aloe, Bronto, Carno and Plessy. All 5 in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place. I'll be down for seeing all of them getting that TLC love, though it is going to be only the top 4 if we raise 120 for the charity. But there's still plenty of time to go. Whoever's in 1st place by November the 14th will be announced as that first TLC, with 2nd on the 21st of November, 3rd on the 28th, and the final winner on December the 4th. And don't forget, starting on October the 31st will be the introduction of the cakes once again, the taming, breeding, imprint XP and harvesting cake slices that you can get from killing dodos on the beaches, and definitely worth doing because you can pretty much raise a Carca or a Giga within an hour if you've got the right breeding and imprint cake, with a lot of time to do this, running right through game day until November the 10th, where of course a lot of people, including myself, will be doing our own. We'll be hosting a massive 24-hour sponsored live stream where we'll be raising for the same course as well for Team Wildcard, with a lot of cool things happening with this one, a lot of creators getting involved, and of course a lot of punishments coming our way. Stay tuned for that. It really is going to be something you don't want to miss. And we're done there. Big love to Studio Wildcard for shouting out our latest Dingle Cup, where we Me and Vino tried to spin for mutations, kind of worked, kind of didn't. And Fear Ascended is here once again. I'm really looking forward to this one, especially being unofficial, name myself, and making sure I've got my very own personal zombie wyverns that I can keep for keeps unofficial, because they, I guess, more desirable unofficial because it's official, right? Are you going to be getting involved in Fear Ascended? Let me know in the comments below. Are you looking forward to it? Until the next one, my name is Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace out.